What is an IFB? An IFB system, that is interruptible foldback, is a wireless system that's used on set for video production and TV and film. Let me give you some background. My experience is that IFB was actually originally used largely in news, and it's a form of one-way wireless audio used on set or in studio. I think originally news anchors would wear a little earpiece, wear an IFB receiver, and they would be getting a feed of audio from their director or producer that would be whispering in their ear, hey, okay, now go to this. Now talk about this. Oh, we have late breaking information on this. Check your teleprompter or whatever. So it was a way for producers or directors to kind of prompt news anchors in that kind of live type of scenario. But on the sets that I've worked on, it's usually to send audio from the audio recorder or mixer to a director or producer. That's one use case. Another use case is to send audio from the audio recorder / mixer to camera so that the camera also records along with picture some quality production audio. So those are kind of the two most common use cases. There are others as well. Sometimes they're used for communication between different members of the crew. So for example, a production sound mixer who is sitting at their cart a little bit ways from set can hear what their crew have to say back to them. So we're not going to talk as much about that, but that's another use case. It's very common. So overall, an IFB is an efficient, hands-free way to remotely make sure that everyone gets a feed of the production audio, thereby keeping the production coordinated and running smoothly. This episode is sponsored by Learn Light and Sound, where we have courses teaching you how to improve your lighting and sound for video. Link down below. Now, knowing all that context, let's talk specifically about the DEITY Hush Wireless D-IFB kit and what makes it unique. Professional IFB systems can be quite expensive. I was going to say I'm not going to name names, but I'm going to name names. And the names I'm going to name are things like Zaxcom, Electrosonics. There are many others as well. But you buy all of the pieces separately in these high-end professional systems, the bill gets big very, very quickly. The D-IFB is much more affordable than most. So a kit with a transmitter and 3 receivers runs $950 US. That may sound like a lot, but again, if you go price some of the other pro systems, I think you'll find that's pretty reasonable. For the international version of the D-IFB, there are 2 versions, by the way. There's an international version and there's a US version. The international version, the D-IFB, can pair with any DEITY THEOS transmitter. That means you can integrate the D-IFB kit or any of the individual pieces with your existing DEITY THEOS wireless microphone system if you already own one. So the THEOS transmitter can transmit and the D-IFB receivers can receive that signal. If you already invested in THEOS, that's fantastic options. Now, there are some substantial differences for the North American version. They're not because of technology limitations. They are because there are patents held by different companies in the United States that prevent DEITY from including some features. The first one is you cannot use a DEITY THEOS wireless transmitter. So you have to use the specific transmitter that was made for the DEITY D-IFB system, the Hush wireless system. It also does not support headphone pairing. So you can't use a DEITY D-IFB receiver with Bluetooth headphones. It just doesn't work because, again, of patents held by another company. Now, there's one positive difference too, and that is that the amount of spectrum that each IFB transmitter uses is smaller than the THEOS system. It doesn't use as much bandwidth to transmit. And what that means is you can fit in multiple transmitters into a much smaller slice of spectrum than you can with THEOS or some other systems. So that's a really good thing. So in essence, you can fit 5 different channels, and I've never needed to do this, but if you needed to, 5 different transmitters within a 2 megahertz range, which is really fantastic. And what that means is that you can move your IFB wireless up into these frequency ranges that you're not typically using for your wireless microphones. So you get the IFB out of the way of the microphone, so you have more space for the microphones down at these lower frequencies. That's really cool. It also has an 11 millisecond latency, so that's very manageable. Any digital system is going to have some latency. For the price point of the Hush D-IFB system, that's a good performance, 11 milliseconds. So it's basically what DEITY says is that's like standing 12 feet away from a person. So if a person is 12 feet away talking to you, you're also experiencing 11 milliseconds of latency. That's good. In this case, the overall DIFB feature set, no matter which region, includes the following. So first of all, tunable ultra-wide band frequency range from 550 megahertz up to 960 megahertz. Again, you can tune your IFB wireless channels to operate outside the frequency range where you normally put your wireless microphone systems, so you're making more room for the wireless microphone systems. Again, that's super helpful. It does have 20-slot frequency libraries where you can store and rotate through up to 20 different frequencies that you might need to listen to. So if you have multiple DIFB transmitters transmitting at different frequencies on your receiver that you're wearing with headphones, for example, you can switch between those different frequencies and pick up from the different transmitters. So you can switch channels, if you will, very simply and easily by just pushing on the main button there and then turning to the different frequencies. And the system will also read back to you and explain, oh, now you're on this channel. Now you're on this channel. So that's pretty cool as well. You can pair these with your phone, just like the THEOS system, and control them from your phone. So you can do a lot of the setup. And also the GPS system on your phone will automatically help you comply with local laws because different countries have different requirements in terms of which frequency bands you can operate your wireless IFB system within. Battery life. You can get up to 15 hours of battery life if you're using the DEITY lithium batteries and less with some other types of battery chemistries. So for example, with nickel metal hydride, you can generally get somewhere between 8 and 9 hours in our experience so far. So that's great. It's going to do it for most of the production days that I'm working on. Let's get you a sample of what it sounds like to use the DIFB to send audio from my audio recorder, Sound Devices Mix Pre, over to my camera, the Canon C70. All right, this will be our camera hop sample. I want to do a few things. I'm going to describe this audio signal chain to you in just a moment, but I'm going to do a clap here first. We'll put this on Google Drive somewhere where you can download it and actually look at the video clip that has the audio baked in. So here's how the audio is getting to the camera using the DEITY DIFB. I am using, let me just pull this cable up. It's bothering me that it's taut like that. Okay. Here is the vintage V11 from JZ Microphones. That's the microphone that I'm talking into. This is connected via XLR cable to my Sound Devices Mix Pre 3. That is sending, the output port on this is sending audio to the D-IFB transmitter at line level. That's sending the audio to the receiver, the D-IFB receiver, which is sitting on my Canon C70. The output from the D-IFB receiver is going in line level to the Canon C70. And then in post, all we're going to do is boost the levels, the audio levels to -23 LUFS. We're doing that for a couple reasons, just to get to a reasonable loudness. And then I can usually get it to that loudness without doing any processing whatsoever. So I want you to be able to hear what this sounds like unprocessed. So that's what you're hearing. You might have just heard my stomach make a noise. Okay. I'll put a link so you can download the original audio and get a, take a closer look and a listen to that. You can bring it into your, whatever audio tools you're using, digital audio workstation, take a look at the spectrogram view and see how that looks and sounds. All right, now, if you have any questions about how to set this up and you're interested in exploring those in future videos, let me know down below. We may also cover this on our Sound for Video session that we do on my other channel, Curtis Judd Audio. In the meantime, get out there and make some great sound. Talk to you again soon.